границы России?
России заканчивается через Берингов пролив с США.
Границы России нигде не заканчиваются.
Vladimir Putin. According to some, he is a hero who brought Russia back to its old days, and according to others, he is a dreamer who dreams of the Soviet Union and is out of mind killer for this cause. Is he playing with all the world in his hands, or is he a crazy that declared war on the windmills? But there is a fact that he is a very different and interesting character. You will be right when you finish the video. Here is Vladimir Putin with the all-interesting characteristics. His father was injured during World War II and he continued his life by working in a factory with a disability in his legs. His mother, on the other hand, cleaned the streets and laboratory equipment during World War II. Putin and his family lived in tiny rooms without even hot water. This house was one of the shared houses, which was a state policy during the Soviet Union period. After the scholarship, which he received help from a teacher when he was in the 6th grade, he embraced the lessons more tightly. He first studied law, and then joined the KGB, the Soviet Union's secret intelligence service. It is known that after 30 years of marriage, in 2013 he divorced a former stewardess, Vladimir Putin. He has 2 daughters. With 36-year-old Maria, nicknamed Masha, 35-year-old Ekaterina, called Katya. There are no photos of these girls' adult lives. There is not a single family photo from this long married life. Ever since he divorced his wife, Lyudmila, there have been occasional rumors about his love life. But the biggest of these rumors originated in 2008, when he was still married. A storm broke out in Moscow when the liberal newspaper Correspondent reported that he was preparing to marry the famous rhythmic gymnast Alina Kabayeva. The newspaper is closed. Putin is a judo master. He likens the philosophy of this sport to the management of the country. He attaches great importance to sports. The first thing after breakfast is to exercise. Also, he is not one of those who get up early and start the day early. He wakes up late. When the sun rises, he starts to have his very simple breakfast. Soft white cheese is her favorite for breakfast. Sometimes he eats omelette, sometimes porridge. Quail eggs if you're in a good mood. Everything must be very fresh. All food is shipped from their villages all over Russia. He does not eat anything that is not organic. His passion for ice hockey is already known. The first thing after breakfast is sports. According to his closest relatives, the Russian leader thinks about the course of Russia while swimming the most. He loves swimming and makes most of his decisions while swimming. On an ordinary day, when the president comes out of the pool, he ends up in the gym. He is not interested in the bike, the treadmill. His hobby is lifting weights. Meanwhile, by watching the news channels, he also gains insight into the issues of the day. There is a queue at the door of the ministers and bureaucrats who want to meet. It has become an ordinary event to wait for them for 2 to 3 hours. It also keeps the media under control in order to prevent questions that might pose a problem to Vladimir Putin at press conferences. He does not use cell phone and internet. There is nothing technological in his room. The news is presented to him in a file, before anyone else. These news are presented in 3 separate files. The file prepared by the local intelligence, the internal affairs file of Russia, and the file of news originating from foreign intelligence. His biggest supporter and mentor in life is his law school teacher, a law professor named Anatoly Sobchak. Vladimir Putin owes much of where he is today to a law professor named Anatoly Sobchak. Sobchak was Putin's teacher at the University of Leningrad. After the Soviets collapsed, he first recalled her to the university, then St. Petersburg's first elected mayor. He continued to mentor Putin throughout his life. Sobchak, who died in 2000, guided Putin with his ideas throughout his life. He was also one of the co-authors of the Constitution of the Russian Federation. The general control of the hotel, where Vladimir Putin will stay, starts about 1 month in advance. All the furniture in the hotel room where he will stay is changed by his assistants before he leaves. Waiters, cooks and cleaners are also selected from Putin's entourage. He is said to be the hardest working president since Stalin. He also works on Saturday and Sunday. There is no daily work routine. That's why his assistants and advisors have to stand by all the time. He doesn't like Moscow's traffic. He is not on good terms with the capital, perhaps because he cannot afford to waste time in traffic, perhaps coming from the rival city of St. Petersburg. He works from home. Since he chose a villa in Ogaryovo, west of the city, as his permanent residence, he usually runs his country from here. He is a fan of Tsar Peter. While Tsar Peter is referred to as great, because it is thought by some historians to put Russia among the states that have a say in the fate of Europe and the world, he is described as Mad Peter by some historians because of his behavior. He is a former KGB agent. This information has been on the agenda of the world in recent years. Putin's identity was revealed in the research on the cooperation between the KGB and the Stasi. He acts more carefully and feels more uneasy than the measures taken by other state administrators. When Putin visits a foreign country, about 200 rooms are kept in a hotel, and that hotel is almost turned into the Kremlin. The intelligence service makes the necessary checks a month in advance. Linens and bath sets are replaced with special and sealed products from Russia. Only the president himself can enter the room. During the visits, Putin has not only Russian cooks in his entourage, but also waiters and cleaners. His biggest fear is getting poisoned. That's why no one can offer Putin food without his knowledge. It has nothing to do with the books. According to his advisors, he finished 2 novels during his tenure. One of them is a story of a fictional Latin American historian set in 2054. In this adventure named The Third Empire, the historian tells the life of Tsar Vladimir II, who brought all of Russia together. Putin's favorite hobby is ice hockey. When he puts on his helmet and goes out on the track, he finds the people closest to him around him. Being invited to these very special ice hockey games, organized every few weeks, is most reputable thing in Russia. The closest is the black Labrador dog named Coney. But their relationship is somewhat complicated by Putin's standard. It is the only living thing that acts arbitrarily against the president, rebels against him, and screams in his face. Here's a portrait of Putin. From being a heavy drinker who didn't succeed in anything until the age of 35, he suddenly turns into a political figure who affects the world for good or for bad. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video.